Hey everyone, so today we are going to be making Jinu from Kpop Demon Hunters. As you can see, we've got the hoodie, which we attach on to the body, a little bit of the drawstrings here, the hair, and he is looking great. So I hope you enjoy this one and we'll get straight into it. So in terms of the materials, you're going to need the following. You'll need 4-ply cotton yarn in light grey, brown, denim blue, and this can be a light denim blue as well. Then of course black and flesh pink. Now if you don't have 4-ply cotton yarn but you're used to a different type of yarn, feel free to use that with the same type of hook that you're also used to. Otherwise, for 4-ply cotton yarn, I use a 1.9mm hook. This results in like a 8 to 9 to 10 centimeter in height sort of product. And if you want to as well with 4-ply cotton yarn, you can use anywhere between a 1.75 and a 3mm hook. But of course, if you've got different yarn and you're used to that, use the hook that is associated with that as well. Of course, then you will also need a pair of cutters. You will need I have a leather needle here, but if you have a sewing needle, feel free to use that. Leather needles are amazing, by the way. Sharp ends, small eye, it gets into all of those stitches, which is fantastic. You will also need some fiber filling, as you can see here, that will use to stuff into the body. And as optional, you will also need some pins, just to pin the hair strands to the body as best as possible, and perhaps the hood as well, but that's completely up to you guys. This is optional. And finally, you will need some 6 or 7mm black safety eyes, which is what I have here, so use that as well. All right, let us get straight into the tutorial. Okay, so we're going to start off using our denim blue colored yarn. And remember, if you have a lighter denim blue, feel free to use that as well. So you'll start off by making a magic ring. As you can see here, here's our magic ring. If you don't know how to make a magic ring, go check out my beginner crochet tutorial playlist where I teach you a lot of these different techniques. You can learn them, come back, and you'll be ready for any type of tutorial that I give on this channel. Alright, so we've made a magic ring and we are going to make 6 single crochet stitches inside this magic ring. And just as a tip, I'm going to teach you to have the yarn come underneath the hook first, and then the yarn come over the hook second, and we call that yarn under, yarn over. But if you're used to yarn over, or yarn under, feel free to use those techniques as well. It's just I would let you know that yarn over is probably not the greatest for amigurumi style projects. So if you can adapt another technique, yarn under, yarn over, or yarn under, that would be amazing, and you might find that you enjoy your amigurumi look a little bit more as well. Okay, so we've got 4 stitches, and by the way, I've linked the video over here so you can have a look at that. 4 single crochet stitches there. Here's number 5, and finally number 6, just like that. Then we're going to grab that yarn tail from the magic ring and give it a little pull so that we can close that magic ring. Now from here you can either crochet in a spiral, and if you do that, that is absolutely fine. That will look great actually. But also I'll just be aware of where these arms come in. You may have to adjust some of those stitches as you're doing that if you're crocheting in a spiral. For this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to do it with a slip stitch and chain 1, just because this is a beginner tutorial here, but feel free to crochet in a spiral and use those stitch markers if you'd like to as well. Okay, so round 1 is officially complete. From here, we're going to continue with round 2, and round 2 is just where we make an increase in each stitch space. So there is my first increase. An increase just means 2 single crochet stitches inside the 1 stitch space. So there's my first increase right there. I'll do another one. So first single crochet stitch followed by the second, and now we have 2 increases complete. I want you to repeat this another 4 times. Slip stitch and chain 1 to finish the round. You will have 12 stitches after round number 2. And here we are. So round number 3 is where we're up to right now, and this is what we're going to do. We'll first make a single crochet stitch followed by an increase. So here's my increase right there. So I'll do it again. Single crochet stitch first, followed by an increase, just like that. And at the end of round 3, so you're going to repeat this another 4 times. You're going to end up having 18 stitches after round number 3. And we are up to round number 4 now. So for round number 4, it's going to be a little bit different. I've just chained 1 there after that slip stitch. And I'm going to walk you through this slowly so we can understand it together. So start off with 5 single crochet stitches. So we've got 1, 2, here's number 3, number 4, and number 5 right here, but don't finish that 5th stitch. Instead, what you are going to do is change the yarn color to brown, and in my case I'm using dark brown, but if you have a lighter shade, so obviously these two colors are very different, but I have no more of this color, so I'm just using a darker brown, and that's more than fine. And I'm going to pull that through those 2 loops just like that. So I've changed my yarn color on that 5th stitch, and now from here we're going to complete what is known as a spike bubble stitch. So that's where the spike stitch doesn't allow us to come here. Instead, we have our hook coming down 1 round below. So 1 stitch space below where we would normally go. And because we're incorporating a bubble in this as well, we want to wrap the yarn first, then come inside this stitch space, have the yarn tails over the top of the hook, pull up the yarn and pull it up, and then pull the yarn through 2 loops on the hook, and you will be left with 2 loops on the hook. Then repeat this again. So wrap the yarn, pull up, and pull through 2 again. Now you have 3 loops on the hook, and one more time, wrap the yarn, pull up the yarn, and pull through 2, leaving you with 4 loops on the hook, as you can see here, 4 loops. And then you are going to change back to your denim blue colored yarn, just like that. And from here, all we're going to do is have that brown colored yarn go across the top of the hook for the next stitch. So here's our first single crochet stitch in denim blue, and we will repeat this another 4 times, but you don't need to weave this brown yarn in now, just for at least for the first stitch. So that's 2, here's 3, here's 4, and here is number 5. Grab your dark brown colored yarn, pull it through, and then from here you are going to perform this spike bubble stitch again. So you're not coming here, but you're coming down here, as you can see right there. Hopefully you can see that. And then you're coming in, have the blue yarn over the hook just for the first wrap, pull up, pull through 2, repeat, wrap the yarn, grab that yarn, pull it up and pull through 2, and one more time, grab the yarn, pull the yarn up and pull through 2. Alright, so we have 4 loops on the hook. We're changing our yarn color back to our denim blue and pulling through all 4 loops on the hook, just like that. There we go. And then you will have 6 single crochet stitches left, but for the first one, have the brown colored yarn over the top of the hook. So here's number 1, here's number 2, 3, 4, 5, and finally number 6. There we go. Slip stitch and chain 1, or continue in the spiral for the next round, which will be round number 5, and just push these the right side as well so that you can see it. So there are our feet or our shoes, whatever you'd like to call that. Alright, so for the next 2 rounds, this is rounds 5 and 6, all you will be doing is making 18 single crochet stitches all the way around for the next 2 rounds again. So that's rounds 5 and 6, 18 single crochet stitches all the way around. So we're going to come back at the end of round number 6, and actually on that final stitch of round number 6 we will come back together because we will need to change the yarn color at that point. So let us continue now for rounds 5 and 6, and on that last stitch of round number 6 we will continue back together. Okay, so we are up to that last stitch, single crochet stitch right here, and I am going to weave black colored yarn into these 2 loops on the hook just to change that color on the last stitch before we continue. So I'm going to do that right now. I've got my black colored yarn, pulling it through those 2 loops on the hook. I'll finish with a slip stitch and a chain 1 because now we are going to begin round number 7. So for round number 7, you're going to start with 6 single crochet stitches in black. So that's 1, 2, and at this point as well, you can also, if you've woven that denim blue colored yarn into a couple of these stitches, then you can cut off both the denim blue and the brown because you won't need those anymore. So I'm going to push these inside the body. So we've got 2 stitches right there. We're going all the way up to 6. So here's number 3, 4, 5, and here's the 6th one. And we're going to change our yarn color at this very point to gray or to light gray. So I've got my gray colored yarn right here, and I'm going to weave it through these 2 loops on the hook at that 6th stitch space. I'll give these a little bit of a tug, and then from here I want you to work in the back loops only. So here is a back loop, as you can see here, if you can see that back loop. And then I'm going to weave in these 2 yarn colors at the same time, gray and black, so they come over the top of the hook as you weave in, as you create these next few stitches. So we've got 1 single crochet stitch right there. We're going to make 5 of these, 2, so 5 in the back loops. So that's 2. I've woven it in twice, so I'm happy with that. Here's number 3, 4, and number 5. Now on that 5th one, we're going to change back to our black colored yarn. So here we go, weave that through, and now you're going to complete the remaining stitches, 1, 2 in both the front and back loops, 3, 4, 5, 6, and number 7 right here. Finish off this round number 7 with a slip stitch and a chain 1. For rounds numbers 8 and 9, it's going to be the exact same, except you're not working in the back loop. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in black. Change at that 6th single crochet stitch to your light gray. Pull through, and then here you've got 5 single crochet stitches in light gray. Change back to black, and then continue on in the same way. So I want you to do that for the next 2 rounds. That's rounds 8 and 9. So we're up to round number 10 now, and this is where we're going to incorporate another color change. So we're still going to use light gray, black, but we're also going to be using flesh pink. This is probably the most difficult round. It's not difficult, but it's the most difficult of what we've experienced so far. Okay, so what we're going to do, and I'm going to take you through this very slowly as well. Start off with 4 single crochet stitches in black. So that's 2, 3, and here's the 4th one. And then I want you to grab your flesh pink colored yarn. So grab your flesh pink and then pull it through those 2 loops on the hook, just like that. And this is where we're going to incorporate the arm. So we're not coming in this stitch space right here. Don't know if you can see that. I'm trying to get the light in it. A bit difficult. But we're coming down here. So that's what we're going to do. You've wrapped the yarn, you've pulled this up, and you've pulled through 2. Wrap the yarn, go in the same spot, pull the yarn, and pull through 2 again. One more time, wrap the yarn, same spot, pull the yarn up, pull through 2. You've got 4 loops on the hook right here. And then I want you to change that yarn color back to black as you pull through all 4 loops on the hook. Then you'll have 1 single crochet stitch in black. And before you finish that one, you're going to change your yarn color to light gray. So grab your light gray, pull it through, continue on with the next 5 single crochet stitches in light gray. So here's number 2, 3, and I have kind of been incorporating the flesh pink colored yarn behind this, but you don't have to. There's number 4, here's number 5, and on this 5th one, let's do that again so I don't grab that black yarn as it comes through. See how I've got some black yarn here? We don't want that, so I'm going to pull that away. Coming here, pull up a loop. We are going to pull the black colored yarn back through these 2 loops to change our yarn color back to black. Then we will make 1 single crochet stitch in black, but before we finish that one, we're changing to our flesh pink colored yarn, just like that. And then we're going to make the 2nd arm right here. So we don't come here, we come here, it's a spike bubble stitch, wrap the yarn, come down, pull up the yarn, pull through 2, and repeat another 2 times. Pull up the yarn, pull through 2, wrap the yarn, pull up the yarn and pull through 2. And yes, I am going a little bit faster here just because we've already done this technique. So pause the video if you'd like to continue with that, or if I'm going too fast, and then press play when you're up to the same position that I am so I can help you with the remaining portion. You're going to pull that black yarn through those 4 loops on the hook just like that. And then from here you've got the remaining stitches in black, and I'll have the flesh pink colored yarn go on top of the hook just for maybe the first couple of stitches that I create with my black colored yarn, or you can weave it all the way to that center point because eventually we will need to use that flesh pink colored yarn again. So it's completely up to you how you want to do this. So there we go. I'm going to slip stitch, chain 1 right there, and we are up to the next round, which is round number 11. For round number 11, we're going to do the following. You're going to start off with a single crochet stitch, and then you're going to do something that's called an invisible decrease. So for an invisible decrease, you want to have your hook go through the front loop only of the next stitch, and then the front loop only again of the very next stitch. So there we go. We've got 2 front loops on the hook plus your original. Then you'll pull the yarn through those 2 front loops and then pull the yarn through to finish it off. So you've just created an invisible decrease, meaning these 2 stitches here, 1 and 2, I've now turned into 1. And we're going to repeat that again. So single crochet stitch first, followed by an invisible decrease. And before you finish this invisible decrease, I'll do it again so I can get in all of that yarn. You're going to change the yarn color to light gray. So bring it over, change to light gray. There you go. And now we are going to complete the process again. So single crochet stitch first, followed by invisible decrease, front loop again. Let's just get that right. So front loop and then front loop again, pull the yarn through, single crochet stitch, and we can finish with another decrease, invisible decrease with that gray. And as we pull up that yarn, we're going to switch back to our black, pull through, and now we will have a single crochet stitch followed by an invisible decrease, and one more time, single crochet stitch followed by an invisible decrease. And just ensure that you have put that gray colored yarn on top of at least one of those stitches to weave it in there. And just before you finish this decrease here, you're going to change your yarn color to flesh pink. So it's kind of nice that we brought that flesh pink all the way to the center, but not completely necessary. And there we go. And then we'll finish it off, this round number 11, incorporating that black colored yarn on top of the hook as you make your slip stitch and chain 1. And from here you can cut all of these yarn tails because you won't need them anymore, and pop them inside the body. And now we are up to the head portion. So for this next round, you're going to be working only in the back loops, so just those back loops, and you're going to work like this: a single crochet stitch first, followed by going to inside the next back loop. Let's find it over here. Next back loop, then you will have an increase, 1 and 2. And you're going to repeat that all the way around. So single crochet stitch first, followed by an increase all the way around. And after this round, you will have a total of 18 stitches in the round. So I'll let you guys do that and then we'll come back for the next round together. So round number 13 is going to be the following: single crochet stitch first, followed by another single crochet stitch, followed by an increase, 1 and 2. So let's just do it again. So there will be 2 single crochet stitches, 1 and 2, followed by an increase, 1 in the same spot, the second single crochet stitch in that same spot to make the increase, and you're going to repeat this another 4 times. You will have 24 stitches at the end of round number 13. For the next 4 rounds, this is rounds 14, 15, 16 and 17, you will just create single crochet stitches in every stitch space. So that's a total of 24 stitches in each round for the next 4 rounds. So we'll come back together on round number 18. You guys are doing such an excellent job. And we've just finished those 4 rounds, as you can see here, which is fantastic. We are up to round number 18 now. And round number 18 will be the following. You'll start with 2 single crochet stitches, followed by an invisible decrease, just like that. So let's do it once more. 2 single crochet stitches, followed by an invisible decrease. And I want you to repeat that another 4 times. You'll have 18 stitches in round number 18 once you've finished it. Now, at this point, you can completely add your black safety eyes. Just fast forward a little bit to see where I do that, and add the fiber filling at the same time. Again, fast forward to see how I do that. But I'm going to do one more round before I insert my eyes and the fiber filling. So completely up to you where you want to add that. But for this round, we're going to start off with a single crochet stitch first, followed by an invisible decrease. Remember, that's front loop, then you pull the yarn through and pull the yarn through again. So I'll show you once more. Single crochet stitch first, followed by an invisible decrease with those front loops, pull the yarn through and pull the yarn through. Repeat that pattern another 4 times. You will have 12 stitches after this round. So here at the end of this round, I'm making a slip stitch, and then I'm going to pull the yarn through as if I were to chain one, but I'm going to pull it further so that it doesn't unravel as I add my safety eyes and my fiber filling. So as you can see here, I have my safety eyes between rounds, I believe it is 15 here and 16. Let's just count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yes, 15 and 16. And as you can see, it's about 2 stitch spaces and a little bit between the spacing of those 2 eyes. And those eyes are between the arms and the legs as best as possible. So that's where I want your safety eyes. Add the little clip at the back there to secure it in place. And once you finish this, I want you to now start adding your fiber filling, small layers sections. So you'll add a little bit of fiber filling, grab your pair of cutters, and push it all the way to the bottom. Using a pair of cutters helps condense and compress that fiber filling as well as you add it layer by layer. You don't want to be adding huge chunks at a time. So just layer by layer, small amounts by small amounts, keeping it nice and even throughout and using your pair of cutters to kind of condense it all the way. So I'm going to get you to do that all the way to the top of the head. Insert your hook back into that loop, and now for the last round, you are going to do the following. You're going to be making 6 invisible decreases all in one go. Now that's only if you finished each round with a slip stitch and chain 1. If you did crochet in a spiral, guys, listen to this. If you crocheted in a spiral, I only want you to make 5 invisible decreases, and then in the next stitch, you're going to make a slip stitch. So that's, again, there's a difference between crocheting in a spiral and finishing off each round with a slip stitch and chain 1 for this last round here. So here's my 6th invisible decrease, and then for me, I'm going to make a slip stitch and pull the yarn through. Then I will cut and leave a rough estimate of about 15 centimeters of a yarn tail to finish that off. And now we need to close the top of the head to finish the body completely. So grab yourselves your leather sewing needle. You can even use a tapestry needle at this point, and weave your yarn tail through the eye of the needle. And then from here, you're going to have your needle go through only the front loops of each of those remaining stitches in the last round. There's either 6 or 7 if you crocheted in a spiral. So you're going to go through each of those front loops and make sure you get them all. You don't skip any. And you don't need to pull super tightly either at this point. So here's my 5th, and here is my 6th. And then from here, what you want to do is you're going to pull that yarn tail to close the top of the head. And then your needle will come right into the center of that and pop out somewhere where there is flesh pink yarn. And then you will pull this even more until this ends up being nice and flat. If you've got any bits and bobs kind of sticking out there, you'll just push them in with your needle. Make it nice and flat, or as flat as possible. And then can you see the lining of these stitches? We've kind of got this X. You've got this diagonal over the top of this one underneath here. And you're going to go across that. So let's go across here. And then will come all the way up here. Doesn't matter where. Don't pull this too tight, but can you see how you've kind of made this a seamless look right here? And we'll follow that same, everything is the same, so you're just going across that stitch space in the diagonal form 3 to 4 times in total until you feel that everything is nice and secure. So mine is probably secure even at that point, so I'll just have this one as my last one. 3, 4, 5 times is more than enough. And then you'll cut the excess yarn to finish that and push in any excess yarn into the head just to hide it away. And there we go, completely finished. The body of Jinu is done. So now we're going to start creating the hood. So what I want you to do is leave a little bit of a yarn tail. It doesn't have to be much. We might not end up using this anyway. And start by making a regular slip knot. So there's the slip knot right there. Now from here you're going to chain 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Here's number 13, so that's 13 chains. And then you're going to start in the second loop from the hook, and you'll start making single crochet stitches all the way down the length of each loop. So that's my second loop that I've entered into. Here's the third loop now, and you'll end up with a total of 12 single crochet stitches by the time you finish your final single crochet stitch. And just kind of push this out a little bit to make it easier to get into this stitch as we go back. So finish off your row number 1. You will have 12 single crochet stitches in row number 1. So I'm finished row number 1 right here. We're going to chain 1 and turn your work so that you're facing the opposite direction now. And then you're going to still work your 12 single crochet stitches all the way down this, and this is row number 2. So finish your 12 single crochet stitches for this row. So we've just completed the second row there. We're going to chain 1 again, turn our work around, and now from rows 3 to 10, so that's 3 to 10, I want you to continue making your 12 single crochet stitches for every row. So that's the next 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and row number 10. And once we've done that, we'll come back together at the completion of row number 10. Okay, so I know I said go up to row number 10, but I want you to actually make one more row. So go up to row number 11, and this is where I am right now. So pause the video, make your row number 11, and then come here and we will do this together. So what I want you to do, and notice how I'm going to fold this. So I'm going to turn this way and fold just like that. And then I know I've chained, have I chained one here? No, I haven't. So I haven't chained one. I'm coming right here. I've folded it, and then I'm going to go and work my hook through the very first stitch space and then right into that first stitch space on the opposite side right there. Okay, and then we're going to grab the yarn just like that, and it's completely up to you. You can make single crochet stitches along the top, or you can make slip stitches, and I will be making slip stitches. So there is one, come into the next 2 stitches front and back, make another slip stitch, 2, let's do it again in the next one. So here will be number 3, here will be number 4, number 5, and you should have one more. I kind of came right into the back portion of that right there. And here's number 6, just like that. And then from there, you are going to pull the yarn through, just like that. You can give it a cut. Leave yourselves maybe like a 10 centimeter yarn tail at that point as well, because we are going to kind of weave this down this end or along the side, somewhere like that. Okay, so we will do that in just a moment. So actually, let's do that now. So let's weave that in right now. So as you can see, I have my yarn tail, and I've woven my needle through a few of these stitches or stitch spaces, and I'm going to just pull that yarn tail through, and that at least will secure it in place. Now you can go completely around the other end if you'd like to as well, just to secure it even more in place and ensure that it doesn't come out. Again, that is completely up to you how you'd like to do that. Then I want you to chop the yarn once you're finished with that. And then I'm going to get you to turn the hood inside out. So this is what we're looking like so far. So there's the hood, just like that. So now we're going to start the hair, and what I want you to do is make your magic ring. There we go. And now what we'll do is just make or work 6 single crochet stitches inside this magic ring. So here's number 3, 4, 5, and number 6, just like that. Okay, so we've got 6 single crochet stitches. We're going to pull that yarn tail right there, and then we're going to come into the very first stitch space. I know this is hard to see because it is black, but I'm sure you've done many of these tutorials now. So there we go, first stitch space, making a slip stitch, and this time do make a slip stitch and chain 1. There we go. Can you guys see that? There. Okay, so round number 2 is just an increase round all the way. You're making 6 increases for round number 2, and at the end of round number 2, once you've made those 6 increases in each, so one increase in each stitch space, then you will have a total of 12 stitches at the completion of round number 2. Finish with a slip stitch and chain 1. And for round number 3, we're going to work a single crochet stitch first, followed by an increase, just like that. And I want you to complete that another 5 times, total 6. You will have 18 stitches at the completion of round number 3. And it's from here, so this is the end of round number 3. I've just made a slip stitch. I haven't chained 1 just yet, because from here we're going to start the hair strands. And what we want to do with those hair strands is start chaining. So we're going to chain 5 straight from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then in the second loop from the hook, we'll make a slip stitch, just like that. And then for the next 3 loops, we'll make single crochet stitches. 1, 2, and here's the last loop right here, 3. So that is slip stitch, 3 single crochet stitches, come into the second stitch of round number 3 and make a slip stitch right there. And you guys have just completed your first strand of hair. So this is strand number 1. So remember, we just made a slip stitch into the second stitch of round number 3. I want you to make an additional slip stitch in the third stitch of round number 3 as well. So it creates that little bit of an extra spacing here, which is what we want for Jinu's hair. From here, we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then start in the second loop from the hook, make a slip stitch. And then for the next 3 loops, you will also be making slip stitches as well. So that's the first, here's the second, and here's the last and final slip stitch, followed by a slip stitch in the next space of round 3, and chain 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and repeat the same process. Second loop from the hook, your first slip stitch, followed by an additional 3 slip stitches. Here's the second one, here is the third, and then come into the next space of round number 3 of the hair and make a slip stitch. So right now we have 1 space, 2, and 3. In the same way, again, chain 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, and make 4 slip stitches starting in the second loop from the hook in the same way. So you will have at least 3 hair strands now of chain 5 and 4 slip stitches. And that is aside from the very first hair strand that we made. So there we go. And come into the next stitch space and make a slip stitch. So we've got 3 hair strands now of those 4 slip stitches plus your additional one over here where we began. For the next 2 hair strands, we're going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now in the first or the second loop from the hook, make a slip stitch, and we're going to always make that slip stitch in the second loop from the hook. And from here on out, we're going to just be making single crochet stitches down the length of the hair strand in each of those loops. So since we chained 6 and started in the second loop from the hook, having the first with a slip stitch, we will have another 4 single crochet stitches. Make a slip stitch in the next stitch of round number 3 and do the exact same thing again. Chain 6, slip stitch, 4 single crochet stitches. Okay, so from here we're going to chain 7 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 chains, slip stitch in the second from the hook, plus an additional 5 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and here's the 5th. There we go, finish that hair strand, come into the next stitch space of round 3, slip stitch. And from here we're going to chain 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And in the same way, again, slip stitch in the second loop from the hook, followed by all single crochet stitches down the length of the hair strand in each of those loops until you finish all of those single crochet stitches. So we're almost done. We've got one last one to go, single crochet stitch here, and then again make a slip stitch in the next stitch space of round 3. We're looking great so far. For the next 5 hair strands, you're going to be chaining 9. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Start off with a slip stitch, and then for the next 7 loops you'll make single crochet stitches. And I want you to repeat this process for 5 total hair strands. So 5 of these hair strands, including this one, is going to be chain 9, slip stitch, and 7 single crochet stitches down the hair strand. So I'll let you guys do that and we'll come back at the end of the 5th. And we have just finished those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hair strands with chain 9 right there. So there are 4 to go, and we're going to chain 8 for this one. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Slip stitch in the second loop from the hook, followed by 6 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and here's the 6th. Then slip stitch in the next stitch space of round 3, chain 7 this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Slip stitch first in the second loop from the hook, followed by 5 single crochet stitches. So here's the second single crochet stitch, the third, the 4th, and the 5th. And then for the last 2 hair strands, you are going to chain 6, slip stitch in the second loop from the hook, and have 4 single crochet stitches down the side. So you want to do that for the next 2 hair strands. So we'll come back after the second hair strand. So I finished those 2 chain 6 hair strands right there. And to finish this off, you're going to insert your hook into the very first stitch space that you started in and just make a slip stitch. Just like that. And then we're going to pull the yarn through that loop on the hook. Leave yourselves about a good 40-50 centimeter yarn tail, because we're going to use this to sew the hair to the head very shortly. You can also cut this center piece as well. So there's the hair. We've finished the hair, guys. And now from here, we've only got a couple of things left to do, and it's all to do with sewing. So let's do it now. Okay, so here is the hood that I have actually pinned to the back of the body, but it's just between the head and the body, as you can see in this final round here. And I've pinned it so that it's evenly spaced on either side, as you can see right here. Now, if your yarn tail is not long enough, I probably should have said to leave a little bit of more of a yarn tail. Feel free to just use a lengthy long strand of your gray yarn. But I'm going to use this yarn tail right here, and I'm going to start by coming into where I've pinned it, and then I'm going to go across the back of the head, across that lining, and just go between some of these stitch spaces at the top here to secure this in place. It doesn't need to be in every stitch space. So we'll keep going just like this. Pull it through. And again, we'll just have a few more to go. So I'm going to come around about here just before I finish it off. If you're having trouble pulling through the yarn, take out some pins because sometimes they can get in the way. Or use a pair of pliers as well. So I'm going to come here. Where should I go? Probably behind this one. Now, of course, if you want to go in every single stitch space, absolutely go for it. But if you don't, this will be just as secure anyway, because we've gone in quite a few of them. Okay, so I'm going to come into this last stitch space over here, pull out my pin so it becomes a little bit easier. I know where I'm going, and then enter my needle back into that same stitch space. And I'm going to go and come right across to the other side again. And I'm going to have this one woven in as well, just to secure that first one properly. Okay, so once we've done that, I'm going to come out where there's some gray, and we're lucky actually that we have some gray, and then I'm going to come across in the same way that we did for the body, come across and make it look seamless. If you have more of a yarn tail, continue doing that, just like that, but for me that is pretty secure. So I'll cut the excess now, and then I'm going to push this inside the body, and our hood is now fixed, which is fantastic. So our hood is now completely fixed, as you can see here. So we're going to let that hang down so that we can now pin the hair strands to the head and then sew the hair to the head as well. So as you can see here, I have pinned all of the hair strands to the head, and this is why I love having pins. This is where we began. This was strand number 1. You can see it's to technically Jinu's right side, but your left side. And then it comes across here, and you're going to pin those hair strands. Don't pull the hair strands because you don't want them to come further down here. If you find that your hair strands, because of your tension, was just made those hair strands too long, you may have to repeat the hair again and reduce everything by 1 chain, if that makes sense. And then you're going to come across and just continue to pin everything just like that to the head, with the center piece right attached to the center of the head as well. Okay, so now you're going to use this long piece of yarn tail and your yarn needle to start sewing each hair strand to the head. So we are going to start like this. Since our yarn tail is right here, we're going to come to the back of this. Then we will open up one of these stitch spaces and have the needle come through where this needle come through where this pin was placed. So we're going to pull it like that, and then what I want you to do is come through the side of that hair strand towards the base, just the side. You have to be careful as you do this, and then you're going to come across to the other side a little bit further up, just so you don't get into that same stitch space, because you really need to be aware of that, by the way. And then you'll have the needle come through the same space where you emerge that yarn, pull out the next pin, and have that needle come through where that was as well. So there's one. I'm going to come through the side again of this hair strand, take away the pin, come through the opposite side, and go straight back into that chain space, pulling out the next pin and coming out where that next pin was with your needle. And try your best not to get your yarn kind of tangled up with those pins as well. So then we're coming to the side of this hair strand, coming to the other side, close to the base. Doesn't have to be completely in the base, and then wherever that pin was placed, you're going to have that needle come out through that same section. Okay, so this is what we're looking like so far. I could have even pulled these a little bit more towards that side, but we are okay. Okay, and we're just going to keep and continue with this technique all the way around. So to the side, pull out the pin, come across to the other side, go into the same stitch space as you came out of and pull up the next pin, find where it was, and have the yarn needle come out through that same spot. And then same again, repeat that process over and over, side, side, all the way around the head to complete the look of Jinu. So I'll let you guys do that and we'll come back right at the end at this hair strand, because then we will do a couple of things up on the top of the head as well. We are on our final hair strand right now. So I've taken out the pin, I've come in to the same spot. I've just been using the same technique the entire way around. And then I'm going to come out at the crown section of my head. And then I'm just going to make a few, I'm just going to secure this in a few spots. So there's one time around the crown of the head. So again, this circle section on the outside, I call the crown. So we're going to just secure that in place in a few different spots by sewing very closely. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Once you've finished that, you're going to cut the yarn and push any remaining yarn into the head to hide. And here's the hood. Now obviously it doesn't fit all the way around, but that's more than fine. Fits to about that much, and you can just let it come down like that. Now we just need to finish off these drawstrings from technically the jumper that Jinu was wearing as well. So let us do that now before we finish up with our beautiful Jinu character. Okay, so for these string sections of the jumper, we're just going to make a slip stitch, leave a little bit of a yarn tail as well, and then chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then pull out in the next loop. Cut yourselves and leave yourselves about a 10 to 15 centimeter yarn tail, and I just want you to make this twice. So make this drawstring twice right here. So here's my drawstring, as you can see, from the jacket / jumper, and I've woven the yarn tail any side, it doesn't matter, through the eye of my leather needle, and then I'm going to have it come around about the top space over here, and I'm just going to come out anywhere, it doesn't matter, because I'm going to go back through that same spot. So pull that, and now I'm going to enter this back over and maybe come underneath it just a little bit so it's not exactly in the same spot. Then I want to come through the first loop and then come back into either the same stitch space or where I began. Somewhere close to those is more than fine. It just helps it become stabilized is all. So there we go. There's our first string right there. And then at the end of this one, I'm going to come in at an angle and chop. There we go. So there's the first one. Now I'm going to do the exact same for the second over on this side. So I'll let you guys do that. And then we're going to have the yarn tails come out at the same stitch space once we've finished that. So there's the first one, have the second one around about there. So we've just done that now. So we've got up to the top. We have the 2 yarn tails coming out at the base here in the same stitch space. We're going to tie these together in a double knot, pulling harder on the second tie. And then we're going to cut the yarn to finish just above that knot and then push the knot into the body to completely hide that. Alright, so we've just done that now. And then of course we need to cut this one, and I'm going to come in from the opposite angle, a little bit above the slip knot, and then chop it at an angle as well. And there we go. There we've got the 2 drawstrings, we've got the hood. And feel free to add some plush to the cheeks, add a nose if you'd like to do that, add a yarn chain or a keychain at the very top of the head, and then you have completely finished. Then you have completely finished your Jinu crochet mini plushie. I really hope you guys enjoy this one. Rumi is also available, and actually a lot of the Kpop Demon Hunters characters are available on this channel or are coming very soon, so stay tuned for all of that, and I hope you enjoyed. Please leave a comment because I love reading your comments, subscribe, and help this channel grow. Thanks guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!